When people look at you as someone fat, I have found in my own personal experience that they don't take you seriously, because if you're not looking after your body, what else are you not looking after?
I know. Like, she just goes in bam, bam, bam without introduction. Hello. Welcome to Life and the Balance of Fitness. My name is Ishak. I'm the CEO of Trainers on Demand, and I'll be your host. If you're new to this channel, this is where people come to be successful in their fitness journey through people who have already made it in their success stories. These are real life stories, real conversations, and real efforts. Stay in to the end. Today I have a special guest with me. She's an award-winning coach, a psychologist, therapist. You've seen her on a lot of billboards. You've seen her on a lot of social media platforms. And if everything goes well, she'll be a 2-time award winner. Ladies and gentlemen, Tess Pereira.
Thank you very much, Ishak, and thank you for having me on your first ever podcast.
I know, it's a big deal for me. It feels a change. I like it.
Growth.
So I've tried to introduce you in a different way, but I would love for you to tell us, who's Tess Pereira?
Who am I? That's a deep question. I am someone who wants and promotes kindness, compassion, and empathy. I am an advocate for people. A lot of people come to see me because they feel stuck, or they feel that they haven't got anyone to turn to. I am their champion. I am the voice that they need to hear for them to action whatever it is that they need to action.
Okay, that makes sense. So how did you ever feel becoming who you are right now?
How did I feel?
How did you feel?
It was a journey for me to get to where I am, and it went through lots of peaks and troughs. I didn't know who I was when I was growing up. I am from London, and I grew up in a time where being brown was frowned upon, and didn't know who I was, how I could fit into society. So I was quite quiet and introverted. So I sought solace in just helping people as best I could, being friends, etc. And that journey took me to meeting more people and allowing myself to showcase my skill set by providing solutions. And then that solution journey took me to where I am right now, sitting here to help people to help themselves.
Yes, I understand you help a lot of people, and that's a really amazing job that you're doing. But I would love to understand, how did you get the idea of you involving your life in the fitness journey?
Oh, the fitness journey. Well, I was a fat child. Let's make no bones about it. When I was growing up, I come from immigrant parents, and the sign of wealth was the appearance. So it would be, if you're plump, then you've got money. So you eat and you fill up your belly. That didn't quite work in the Western society because especially in the time we were growing up, when you were slim and slender, that is a sign that you are taking care of your body, which is the polar opposite from an Asian perspective, or even like an African perspective. So I was just fat and miserable, and I was living my life as somebody who couldn't fit into the clothes that my Western white friends are wearing, because I've got hips, I've got thighs, I've got ass, and I really, really hated the way I looked, to be fair. So, and then, people began to embrace body image. Then J-Lo came along with, her fabulous body, and it became normal to have shape and not to be flat.
So, speaking of shape, do you still see yourself as a fat kid?
Sometimes. It's not about appearance, it's more like the feeling I get. When sometimes when I look in the mirror, I feel like, the inner child needs soothing, and how do I soothe? Is through food.
Okay.
And I have to have a check and a conversation with myself from time to time about, why am I eating this? Is it because I am sad? Is it because I'm hungry? Or is it because I'm trying to numb whatever it is that I'm now trying to numb?
Okay. Which year did you join fitness?
Like properly, probably when I came to Dubai, maybe 9.5 years ago, yeah.
Okay.
I started the fitness journey.
And by 9 years ago, do you have any reason as to why you started training?
So when I came over here, I was the trailing spouse, by which I mean I followed my husband here and I had my 2 kids. I wasn't working and I was just a mum. When I say I was just a mum, I was an operations manager for my kids. Once I ballooned in terms of weight. I went from 60-something kg to 83 kg, and that was my biggest. And then there was a family wedding, and my father-in-law fat-shamed me in front of the family. And
Hold on. What do you mean by fat shamed you?
So he hadn't seen me for maybe 5-6 years, and he said, "Hey, Tess." He said, "Hey, Tess, you put on about 60 kg since we last met you." And I was like, "No, Dad, not 60, 63.
That was the direct statement from your father-in-law.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think, I believe it was in jest, but in every joke there is some truth, and I felt it. But I take things on the chin because, you know, I've developed resiliency, if you like, and I was determined to enjoy my holiday, but those words stuck, and I didn't want to be perceived that way, because when people look at you as someone fat, I've found in my own personal experience that they don't take you seriously, because if you're not looking after your body, what else are you not looking after? So that's when I started.
That's a strong one. Say it again.
It's, look, if you're not looking after your body, then how are you able to look after anything else, right?
Okay.
And there's that perception, that bias, that judgment piece. And, you know, by that time I was thinking about setting up my business and all that kind of stuff. It's like, how are people going to take me if I'm not looking the part?
Okay.
Looking like someone who can help when she cannot even help herself, in the way that she is dressing because she's overweight, etc., etc. So I did a little bit of introspection, and then I decided to join the gym. And the primary focus of that gym session with that particular PT was to do cardio so I could lose the weight. And I started to lose the weight, and I just didn't feel fit.
So how long ago is this when you started your fast session?
I would say about 8.5 years ago.
About 8 years ago. And how long did it take you to see any amount of results?
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
And by results, what did you see in 6 weeks?
So when you are overweight, it is easier to see change in your body when you do cardio, because you lose fat. So I did see that change. However, I just didn't feel strong. And I think then there was a mindset shift. I wanted to become stronger, not leaner. Leaner as in, I didn't want to be skinnier,
okay.
right? Because I wanted to look like a woman, and I wanted to look like a strong woman. I wanted to look like a strong mum. So there was a mindset shift, and that's when I started lifting weights.
And for those 6 weeks, what did you do exactly in the 6 weeks of training?
Running on
like in general, running and home, sleep. Just describe it for us.
Oh, just a typical day. It would be picking up the kids, dropping them to school, then coming back, and then going to the gym. And I had a little social group going on, so we'd have coffee, and then we'd do some classes. And, you know, some of these fitness classes are not really for fitness, it's for socials, so I was doing that. But in there, I drew inspiration, because if I'm there, why can I not, after the supposed fitness class, do some cardio on the running machine, on the treadmill? So that's what I was doing. And
how did you feel about doing the cardio every other day?
I hated it. I've got to be honest, I hated it. And then when you are looking quite lost in the gym, that's when the PTs come and say, "Hi, would you like a PT?" So this particular one came and exercised kindness towards me and said, "Look, I know you're struggling. Do you want some support?"
So what was your idea of a PT offering fitness help to you as a chubby person at the moment?
What he did was created a program for me, because I was just walking around aimlessly going on cardio missions, not knowing what I was doing. And these machines are quite sometimes they're wrong in how many calories that you're burning, and I was being misguided by the machine, and I thought I was doing well when actually I wasn't, and I wasn't even using the machine properly. So he showed me how to use it and gave me a plan of what I should do and how long I should do it.
You are literally describing what I do every other day.
Absolutely.
Because I understand people don't have this whole concept of, I'll start slowly by walking, but how long? How long are you going to walk? How long are you going to lift whatever you don't know? Because at the end of the day, planning without having a plan is very, way easier than not having one.
Absolutely. And not only that, when you are exercising and you are doing it, why are you doing it? What for? And he helped me identify what my goals were. And as I said at the top of this conversation, it was to lose the weight, as it were. And once I started dropping the weight, it was like there was something missing, so I had to readjust my goals. And that's what he was very good at. Okay, you've done that test, what's next? Now, if I was doing it by myself, I would have coasted to get to this. And then, you know, we form habits, don't we? And we go back into our old habits. So being accountable was very important, and having accountability to him was very important to me, and he kept me on track.
So in the 6 weeks, did you feel any change of mood, work? Did anything else change apart from you losing weight?
No, absolutely. When you do exercise, as a psychologist, of course, I know that when you exercise and you're feeling depressed, it elevates your mood. Right? You've got the serotonin flowing through your body, the endorphins, and you just feel lighter and better for it. Not whilst you're doing it, mind, but afterwards, the after effect. So yes, certainly, I saw the world a little bit differently, and it became a bit easier. And I was beginning to tolerate a few more things within my own personal setup and all that kind of stuff. So it made it a bit more manageable for me.
Cool.
Yeah.
So on your first day in the gym, describe the environment. Like, what happened?
It was horrible, right? And for those of you who are not watching in Dubai, Dubai is full of beautiful people. And I was not. I was an overweight mum of two. I went into the gym, and these women in their little sports tops with their abs, and the men with the biceps, and there was me, a round person, like, you know, with my thighs chafing. I was thinking, what the hell am I doing here? And I was like, you know what? I made a commitment. I'm going to do it. So the first thing I did was join a group exercise class, and the trainer was like, high energy, you got this, and I was like, yeah, I've got this. So, you know, I was vibing off his energy, and then he asked us to do squats, and it was to the beat of the music, and we were doing the squats. I was like, yeah, I can do that, and I was really enjoying it. And then, you know, some cardio around the room. Let me tell you, the next day I could not move, by which I mean
the dons.
I could not even go to the toilet. I could not even sit down. I was like, what is this? And I was like, I can't do this. Nope.
So for those watching there who have never been to the gym, usually when you go to the gym, the next day is you have DOMS. It's like after effects where your muscles are shattered. Why we go to the gym is to damage and repair. So you did your hard work on damaging the previous day, and on the next day, your body is now in the zone to repair. So you feel broken. Most people even take painkillers, by the way.
I did ibuprofen.
Oh,
ibuprofen. I was like, I could not tolerate this. It was ridiculous. I couldn't even go to the toilet, literally. And I was like, what is this? And I didn't go back to the gym for a week.
For a week?
I just could not move.
And how about the trainer you had provided the commitment to?
Yeah, I texted him and said I couldn't do it.
I cannot do it.
But, you know, with me, I do follow through. And I said, I'll be back once I feel better. Literally, I could not move. Never experienced anything like that. You know, because I see people on videos, and at that time it was videos, right? You know, really enjoying it, and the next day they're like, you know, jumping up and down and doing that stuff. I was prepared to do something like that, but that wasn't my story. It was just full of pain, and then I had to mum and, you know, be a wife, and I was like, I just can't do this. It was just too much for me. And then slowly, maybe by day 3, I was like, okay, I can move, right? Still sore.
It's getting to the zone where you're getting,
Yeah, but it's just, you know, to touch my leg, it was like, oh, but it was getting progressively better until I was back to my normal self. And I was like, okay, let's go again.
And did it change anything in your lifestyle?
Yeah, I mean, I started paying attention to what I was eating. You see, in Dubai, it's much cheaper to eat out than it is to buy the raw ingredients and cook. And so what I decided is to shift everything, which meant that I also shifted the way I cooked for my family, or, you know, having snacks or treats with the family. So it was more home food. You know, then I used all the recipes from my mum, and then started making all this stuff that, you know, we enjoyed eating as a family, and that's how it shifted. So going out was a treat. It's not something that we do because it's cheaper to eat out. Yeah, that's how it changed a lot for me.
I would love for us to take a short break, and when we come back, I would love for us to talk about a very, very sensitive topic that you just mentioned.
What's that?
About child obesity. And I want you to enlighten me about the role parents play in this whole child obesity, because I think, in my own professional opinion, a child being obese, those are choices by a parent. But I would love to hear a professional perspective and how you lay it on. Sounds fair?
Yep.